Where should I go?
Right here, please, right here, Rabbi, please.
All right. Are we ready?
I think we got one more. Okay.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for you. Hurry up.
Of course.
Colin, right? Yeah.
This is the last guy eating donuts.
Yeah, bring some.
Oh, my pleasure. How could we not come?
This is wonderful. Such a good turnout. Sure. No
Don't worry about
worries.
it, Colin.
At least you're here, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Ready? Okay. Hello. My name is Miriam Shara, Executive Director of the Arab American Civil Rights League. We welcome you here today and thank you for the opportunity to join us on a Sunday. ACRL is a civil rights organization with a primary focus on protecting the civil rights of Arab Americans. The best way to carry out this mission is to work for a common cause with any organization seeking to make our nation more open and united. We stand together with organizations across the country that share our vision of a more just and inclusive world. ACRL is here to address the following incident that took place Friday, December 2nd at Temple Bethel. In addition to fighting bigotry, hatred, and racism, we also need to address the mental health crisis affecting our communities, our region, and our country. Very little resources have been put in place, and so many people are in prisons and jails that should be in mental health institutions so they can receive the proper treatment needed. Not only am I the executive director of the Arab American Civil Rights League, but I am also by trade a mental health specialist. As a nation and as a community, we need to address the mental health crisis that we are facing today. And a great example of this case is Mr. Hassan Choker. We also have compassion for those suffering from severe behavioral health issues. As a community, we must do more to invest in the diagnosis, treatment, and long-term care of those suffering from serious mental illness. Access to this sort of care, we believe, is a civil right. We call on our elected officials to refocus efforts on helping families like Mr. Choker's who have spent decades struggling to find appropriate care for their loved ones. Reform can only occur, moreover, with a comprehensive overhaul of our public and mental health laws. We hope, in fact, that the newly elected legislator continue to invest his time and energy into this kind of structural reforms needed. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Nasser Beydoun, Chairman of the Arab American Civil Rights League. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Nasser Beydoun. I am the chairman of the Arab American Civil Rights League. I want to welcome you here today, and I want to especially welcome Rabbi Levitan for joining us today. It's a pleasure and honor to have you, sir. Your presence here today sends a strong message of unity and respect between the Metro Detroit Arab and Muslim communities and the Jewish community. Let me start by saying that bigotry, hatred, intolerance, and racism are our common enemy. Many of those who spout anti-Semitism also preach Islamophobia. Our common humanity guides us to condemn words of hate, no matter to whom they are directed. No community, no matter their religious beliefs or background, should be the object of anger, hate, or derision. Our communities have had a long and respectful relationship. Though we might not agree on the issue of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, here in Metro Detroit, we have shown that what happens in the Middle East does not necessarily affect our ability to foster ties, build relationships, and work for the common good. Our hope that our friendship and partnership can be a model of coexistence, respect, and harmony to others. ACRL has a duty to denounce hate, and we stand ready to support our Jewish brothers and sisters as they recover from what we know was a traumatic incident. We as a community know very well how it feels to be confronted at our religious institutions. We need to use the tragic events on December 2nd not only to stand together as a bulkhead in the face of growing racism and bigotry in America, but to ensure that this remains an isolated incident between Metro Detroit's children of Abraham, and to foster some good by shining a light on the mental health crisis that we all face. Together, we are a powerful voice in Lansing and Washington. Though we stand here together to fight anti-Semitism, bigotry, and racism, let us stand together and shed light on the mental health crisis facing our nation. Once again, thank you, and I want to wish you a happy Hanukkah and a wonderful holiday season to everybody. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce the Rabbi.
So much. Wow, thank you. I must say I could not have said it better than you had. And you're seeing I'm wearing a silly Hanukkah sweatshirt, which lights up, and it's because Hanukkah starts tonight. I wanted to begin my Hanukkah celebration with my brothers and sisters in the Muslim and Arab American community, and I wanted to hope that we can go from a very terrible moment of pain to a moment of joy where we could celebrate each other and what we have in common and how we can stick together. I want to say my son plays basketball, and they did play in high school. They played against a Muslim school in Ann Arbor, and there were some that shouted anti-Semitic remarks. I was so hoping that they could go to that game and feel the brotherly love that really does exist. And so I'd like to ask all of our communities to move beyond any individual who spouts hatred, to appreciate mental health issues and how much we have to put into those and how many resources we have to invest in that, and to move beyond that, not just no hate speech, not just no antagonism, but true brotherhood and love and enjoying each other. And so I'm so excited to celebrate Hanukkah and to wear my Hanukkah crazy sweater here with all of you. So it's my honor, and let's move to love and brotherhood and friendship.
My name is Attorney Nabi Ayad. I'm founder of the American Civil Rights League. I'm here today in the capacity of the attorney for Mr. Hassan Shukr. I first want to start out by thanking our dear Rabbi Asher Lopatin, for the Executive Director of the Jewish Community Relations Council in Detroit, for your commitment and your help and your sincerity in being here today and join us in these forces, and as we stand up together, united against hate. We obviously condemn the actions taken by Mr. Shukr on December 2nd at the Temple Beth El. To me, as a parent, personally, it's by no means, it's not appropriate. There's no means do we support or condone such conduct against anyone, race or religion or ethnicity. I have Jewish friends, I have black friends. It pains me to see such conduct, especially when there is children that are involved. This community is united in the sense that we should never let hate, we should never let derogatory statements stand in the way of the love and sincerity that we have for each other. However, we have to deal with what's at issue here. And the simple fact is that my client is simply not well. He needs help, he needs treatment, uh, and not to be in a jail cell. We see the vicious cycle that's happening here. We see what happens if mental health is not addressed with Mr. Shukr. Individual, I talked to him. I actually talked to him yesterday. I visited him. And, you know, some of the media have not seen the other videos that were out there that talked about. And he says, I have Jewish friends. I love my Jewish brothers. I have, there's good and bad in every religion. And he goes on to talk about all of that. That's kind of the stuff we didn't see when the unfortunate events of December 2nd ensued. But this individual does need help. He needs help. I can tell you, as a civil rights attorney, we've seen the horrors that have come to this community, from the Terry Jones to the Bible Believers case, where people are condemning a prophet, Muhammad. They're saying that he was a pedophile. They're condemning his wife as a whore. They're condemning and saying that you will all burn in hell. We've seen the horrible face what individuals can do when they come to a community. So, in that spirit, we are very concerned that Mr. Shukr, who truly needs the help, we know that he has been in mental institutions. I know Dearborn Police has called on him a number of times to basically commit him for the conduct. In fact, they've called immediately after this incident on December 3rd, where they committed to the Center of Team Wellness, where he was basically, actually, the Bloomfield Township arrested him from that location. They had committed him for 3 days. They petitioned the probate court to hold him for mental health evaluations. And we know that when he's in treatment, such as Team Wellness and the mental health, we know that the security guard, you can see him on video saying he's been nothing but great over here. He hasn't had any issues or anything of that nature. We have great facilities such as Team Wellness in Wayne County that could really address these kind of concerns. Hassan has had numerous challenges. He's had, and we know that we hear the numbers about how COVID has affected the mental health, how COVID has affected suicide. Suicide numbers are up, mental health is up. We see that, and Hassan is no difference to that. During COVID, he contracted COVID. During that time, he has numerous challenges where the city, the Dearborn police, ended up taking which he felt his very love, his dog, away from him. He had his business shut down, a mechanic shop, had family that he was away, what have you. All that agitated into a situation where again, mental health goes untreated. You have him coming up to Temple Beth El on December 2nd. We've seen that he has dealt with numerous criminal charges, from Bloomfield Township to Wayne County revoking his bond, to federal charges being charged against him, to him being slammed, his head slammed into the wall while he is in custody on a couple occasions, and being assaulted. This is what happens when mental health is not addressed. So we're standing here today and saying, as a community, we absolutely deplore the conduct of what Mr. Shukr did on December 2nd. We absolutely deplore what has happened here, and especially when there's children involved. Especially when there's children involved. I'm a father myself. I don't want no individual coming to my school or my children's school to say and do what they did. However, we have to look at this for what it is. It's a true mental health case, and we want the authorities to address that in a mental health situation. This person does not need to be in a jail cell. He absolutely needs some mental health treatment, which I feel, after speaking with him, it's absolutely viable that he could be a positive and asset to our society if he gets the proper treatment. I want to thank everyone, and again, I want to thank Rabbi for being here this afternoon. And I want to turn it over to Joe, the crew.
Thank you, Nabe. Good afternoon, everybody. Early evening. Um, I'm glad that everyone's here today, and I'm glad the ACRL put out this statement. It's important, as I said on Thursday in court, it's important that Hassan get the help he needs to grow and to be better and to come back into the community as a better version of himself. I was talking to his brother earlier today, and I said to him, you know, we all let him down. Us as a community let Hassan down because we saw on Instagram the breaking where he was normal and where he was going through things, the progression into a manic state where it cultivated and ended up at Temple Bethel. To the Jewish community, I said it in court and I will say it again, it was a disgusting, deplorable. There's not a word for the actions that happened over there, especially in front of children, as Nabi said. But we have to remember something, that it came from a place of not being well, from things that were said to things that were done. You can tell even after he was arrested, giving the finger to a judge, mooning a judge. These are all things that show that he's not in the state of mind to be let out. But he's also not in the state of mind to be put in a jail cell, confined in a little cell. He's not getting out of that little cell except to talk to his attorneys 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, held on $1 million bond. That's not what you do to somebody that's unwell, physically or mentally. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much. And with that, I'll turn it over to Hassan, his brother. Thank you.
Hello. Peace be upon you. Salam alaikum. Shalom alaikum. My name is Hussein Joker. As a family member of Hassan, I felt compelled to be here today and speak on behalf of my family and my community. We are wholeheartedly condemn Hassan's behavior and stand with our Jewish community and our brothers and our Jewish brothers and our Jewish sisters in unity. Hassan's actions were condemnable and do not reflect our beliefs. I would like to emphasize in the fact that Hassan does in fact and has been for a long time suffer from mental health issues. He has been in and out of mental health institutions for years and never received the help that he needs and deserves. I hope that this incident gets him the right mental health treatment and builds mental health awareness all over the world, globally, nationally, and globally. Again, we stand with our Jewish community. God bless you, Rabbi. Thank you for coming. God bless you. So sorry. And I stand with our Jewish community and our Jewish brothers and sisters and pray that we can continue to do so and to strengthen our ties and continue our bridges and make them stronger. Thank you.
We'll open it up for questions now. What's next is going to be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is the preliminary exam for Mr. Shukar. And as a preliminary exam, for those of us that are not attorneys, are basically where the prosecution has to put on the case to address whether this matter should be bound over for a felony charges to the circuit court in Pontiac, or the 6th Circuit, Oakland County. That will be tomorrow, and the witnesses will probably be there as well as the detective in charge of the case.
Do you think they should change the judge?
No, I don't see any basis for them to change the judge at this time. Judge Barron has been around for a long time, well respected in the community. I think he's a smart judge, and I think that he will look at this and look at the issues at play and make his decision.
Not a biased judge.
No, Judge Barron is a very fair judge. He's always been a fair judge.
and this is, I'm putting my legal hat on, this is not the ACL's view, but I'm putting my legal hat on, and the legal hat is that we're hoping that the judge looks at this and either does one of two things. Either he dismisses the case, the two felony for ethnic intimidation, or he sends Mr. Shukr to mental health evaluation for competency exam.
Any other questions? No? Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. Appreciate your time on a Sunday.
Thank you. Good things will come out.
Okay.
Yeah, that please.
Stop.
Thank you. Thank you. Friend of Harvey Bronstein. Thank you.
Harvey and I go back a
Oh,
long way.
really? Thank you very much. Thank
Actually,
you.
my kids call him Uncle Harvey.
Oh, yeah. Well, good luck, and I do hope that they do a mental evaluation and help them.
Thank you so much.
Thank
critical.
you.
So
Good
much
luck
for
with your
being here
work.
today.
Thank you.
This is what diversity is all about.
Absolutely, we gotta come together.
Really does mean a lot for you to be here on Hanukkah.
Absolutely, my honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Joe, thank you.
Hey. Thanks so much. Well, I know, a little bit. No, I think we're all here.
You already had the list of people who talked. The press release. We don't know how to spell the name.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You have it on your thing.